Hello, I'm Mike Cisco with the IT Manager Institute, and welcome to my IT Manager Quick Tips section. This is number 4, develop a quick project schedule. At the end of the video, there will be a link to get a free download of the project schedule template that I'm about to share with you, so stay tuned. We need a sample project to go through this, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a project and develop a schedule to install a payroll system in a small company. I think everybody can relate to that. All right, here's a simple project schedule template that I use. Now, when you take a first look at it, it's just pretty straightforward. It's an Excel spreadsheet, as you can tell, and there's some information that's created for it to get it ready to develop a project schedule. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to put in the date. So we'll do that. Second thing you want to do is you want to put in project information. We'll call this payroll installation project, and the project manager is me, Mike Cisco. The next thing you want to do is you want to fill in the date information, and in the top area where you see the shaded rows, that's for the months. So we're going to put in October, November, and December. I've got 4 sets of columns. You see 4 groups of columns. We're going to use 3 groups for October, November, and December. Then underneath that, I have individual rows for weeks. And what I'll do is I'll put in the Friday of each week ending. And so the first Friday in October is October the 4th, followed by the 11th, 18th, and 25th. In November, there are 5 Fridays, so we have the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. And in December has 4 Fridays, 6, 13, 20, and 27. All right, so the thing that we might also want to do is in the United States, the last week of November is we have a holiday called Thanksgiving. So I'm highlighting that column the week of the 29th to let everybody know that that's going to be a 3-day work week. You might also want to highlight the week that you're going to go live with this payroll installation. I'm not going to do that in this example, but you could do that as well. And the other thing I want to point out is there are 5 columns in each of these monthly groups of columns. November has 5 Fridays, so that's why there are 5 columns. If you don't have a 5th week or a 5th Friday, like in December or October, you just don't use that particular column. And now we're all set up. Now that we're set up, we want to start filling out our schedule, and you start with the task. What are the things that you have to do to install payroll in this small company? All right, well, the first thing you got to do is you got to order some things. So I'm going to group some things into certain types of categories. And the first category I always use for an installation is what do I have to order? Well, we're going to have to order a few things. We need to order a PC and a printer. We need to order some payroll software. And we need to order some paper and payroll checks and forms. So there's 3 sets of things that we're going to need to order. The second thing that we would do is to install some things. When we get the PC and printer in, we need to install the PC and printer so they're ready to go. And then we also need to install the payroll software onto the PC. The next thing we need to do is to build some master files. We have a company master where we'll need to put in profile information about our company, the company name, address, and those kinds of things. Those will print on the check, and some other information about our company. We'll have an employee master. We'll have a record for each employee to tell us what their salary rate is and so forth. We'll also have a tax master. Now that may come with the payroll software, or we may need to build it individually through some guidance, but we'll set up a tax master some way. Next thing we'll do is once we have everything set up and ready to go, we need to train our computer operator on the payroll processes. What do they need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And then the next thing we want to do is before we go live, we want to do a parallel payroll test to compare our computerized payroll output with the service that we're using now and make sure that the checks are identical. So we'll want to do a complete parallel payroll test. And then finally, we'll go live. In this project we're targeting, we want to go live the first week of December. The next thing that we'll want to do is identify the responsibility for each of the tasks that we've defined that needs to be done to complete this project successfully. And I've got a schedule up in the top right that shows who is on the project team. Mike Cisco, Bob Adams, Susan Smith. What we'll do in the column called responsibility, RSP, we'll put their initials in. So let's fill that out, and you see that Mike Cisco is going to do the ordering, Bob Adams is going to do the installation, Susan Smith is going to do the file bills and so forth. Now, the person who has responsibility may not actually be the person who does the work, but they're the person accountable to the project team to get that task done that they're assigned to. All right, once we have the responsibilities in place, now we want to identify the completion timeframes for each of the tasks. So what we do is in the week that we need to get things done, we put a slash mark. So we put a slash in the week of October 4th for the PC and printer. That needs to be ordered by Friday the 4th of October. Same thing with payroll software, same thing with the paper, payroll checks, and forms. All of the ordering needs to be done by Mike Cisco the week of October 4th, or by Friday the 4th of October. The next thing is the installation. So the PC and printer needs to be installed by October the 11th. Payroll software needs to be installed by October the 11th as well. And in the file bill, we want to have the company master in place by October the 18th, that Friday. The employee master is a much bigger file. That's going to take up to 3 weeks to do. So what you see I've done is I've put a slash in the week of October the 18th. That's when we need to start it, and we need to complete it by November the 1st. So we need to spend the time that it takes to build that employee master. That may be several hundred or even well over 1,000 records. So we've got to do that, and we're assuming that that's going to take up to 3 weeks. The week of October 18th, 25th, and the week of November the 1st. It has to be done by November the 1st. And then the tax master, we want that to be in place by the week of October the 18th as well. To train on the payroll processes, we want to have that done after we do the file setups and the file bills. What we want to do is we wanted to train our computer operator on the processes the week of November the 8th, or by that time frame. And in our parallel payroll test, once the training is in place, we want to do the parallel test the week of November the 15th. Now we may also do a second payroll parallel test the week of the 29th. That's optional, but we're going to do at least one. Right now we've got that set up to do by the week of the November the 15th. And then finally, our go live is we're going to go live with our payroll system the first week of December, the week of December the 6th. All right, so we're ready. We've got all the tasks identified. We've got responsibilities targeted. We've got the time frames of when we need to have things completed by. The employee master, we show when we need to start it by and when we need to complete it by, and so on. So we've got a project schedule set up. Now what we do is we need to manage that project, and once we start the work, we want to have weekly status updates. So the first week, October, the week of the 4th, we want to have a weekly status update to see where we are. Make sure that we're getting our task completed on time. Now what I like to do is I put my completion dates, which is October the 4th, on Friday, the last working day of the week. But I like to have my status meetings on Monday or Tuesday. So if I have my status meeting on Tuesday, my status meeting is actually going to be on the 1st of October. Well, when we come into that status meeting, I'm looking for my people to tell me they've gotten their task completed already for that week. If they don't, it gives me a couple, 3 extra days to get all that work completed by the end of the week. So I can put some pressure, and it actually makes me feel like I've got a little bit of extra time. Because I'm telling everybody, when you come into the status meeting, I'm expecting you to have the work for that week completed. And if they do, great. All right, so we go through our first weekly status update meeting, and it's Tuesday, the 1st of October, let's say. Well, the PC and printer's been ordered, payroll software's been ordered, paper and payroll checks have been ordered. So what you see I'm doing is I'm putting an X in those particular cells. So it's very easy for me to see what's not been completed yet because it's just a slash, and what has been completed because it's an X. All right, we go to the next week. It's Tuesday, October the 8th, and we're looking for work that's due for that week to be completed by October the 11th. So our status meeting's on Tuesday the 8th, and I'm asking everybody where we are. So we've got two things that are supposed to be completed this week, the installation part, and sure enough, we marked them off with an X because they have been installed. We're ready to go with the installation. So the next week, the week of October the 18th, we meet on the 15th, that Tuesday, to look at this week's tasks, and we see that the company master has been completed, so we mark that with an X. The employee master is not completed yet because that's going to take about 3 weeks. What I do is I leave that alone. Even though we've started it, I'm going to be checking on it every week, but I'm not going to mark it as completed until we actually finish the process. Then we also see that the tax master has been completed as well. All right, so we go through all of those, and every week, as you can see, it's very easy to see what's been completed and what's not been completed. I want to point this out again. When I go in to identify the time frame of when a task needs to be completed, I mark that with a slash. And then when it is completed, I make it an X. It makes it very visual, very easy to see what's been done and what's not been completed. So if I was to look at in the weeks in the past to see if anything's not been completed on time, I can see that very quickly, so I know where I need to focus and so on. It helps me a lot. If I complete these tasks in the time frames that we said they need to be completed, we're going to be delivering our project successfully. It will be delivered on time, which is the objective, to have all this finished by the first week of December. All right, hopefully that you can see that using this template, it's very simple, it's visual, and it's very easy to use. Now, I'm proficient in Microsoft Project. If a company requires me to use Microsoft Project in a project management issue, then I'll use it. But if I don't, I always go back to this simple spreadsheet because it's so simple, easy to use, and everybody has Excel. I call this Practical Project Management. All right, you can get a free download of this template, and you can use this as is, or you can modify it any way that you want to. Go to mde.net/project2019.xlsx, and you'll be able to get that spreadsheet and be able to use it in scheduling your projects. It's very quick, very simple, very easy. All right, thank you for watching my YouTube video. I have 4 segments in my IT Manager Institute channel: Quick Tips, IT Manager 101, IT Humor, and Whiteboard Lessons. I hope you'll subscribe so that you can get future releases of the updates that I create. All right, I want to wish you the best of success. And if you're interested in more IT Manager resources, take a look at my website, itmanagerinstitute.com. There's a considerable amount of resources there specifically for developing IT managers and helping IT managers of the world achieve more success. Thanks again. Best regards.